This is Danny Johnson, San Diego County News, online video. We are here at the Conservative Political Actions Conference 2012 in Washington, D.C. We have a very interesting lineup of individuals, movers and shakers in the Republican Party who have been gracious enough to sit down with us to talk about the politics of the day. And at this time, I would like to introduce and let him introduce himself, and then we will be going from there.
Good day to you. I appreciate this opportunity to speak to San Diego County News. And my name is Bill Randall. I'm a congressional candidate for North Carolina's 13th Congressional District. I'm running in the Republican Party.
And as you all at, basically, Mr. Randall is running for the Republican primary in May of 2012. And basically, Mr. Randall, we know that there was an incident that occurred in October of 2011 in reference to some issues regarding some of your political signs. Could you explain to us and help us understand what happened?
Oh, yes. My large campaign billboard was defaced with graffiti. They drew a vulgar male phallic symbol on it, and they also put the letters KKK at the bottom. I find this a bit interesting only because there was very little media interest in the story. And I suspect that's primarily because I'm a Tea Party conservative Republican.
And basically, the incident occurred in reference to, were there any arrests or were there any investigation by the U.S. Attorney's Office for that particular district in North Carolina? What's the latest on that?
Interesting, you mentioned by the U.S. Attorney's Office. Attorney General Eric Holder said that there will be no prosecution of crimes that were committed against whites, and I don't understand why the rationale is along that line. I think they should be prosecuted no matter who does the incident. But I'm a black candidate, and there's no interest by the U.S. Attorney's Office with respect to that. But I find it particularly peculiar because the Duke Lacrosse case occurred less than 50 miles to the west of where my campaign billboard was defaced. And those young men were accused of raping this black woman who was a stripper at the college campus of the dorm room. And the investigation found those young men not just not guilty, but they found them innocent, which is very, very important because you could be found not guilty and still have committed the crime because they didn't prove that you did it. But if you're found innocent, that means they proved you absolutely did not do it. And but yet the media went on for weeks about that story. Those young men, their lives were threatened. Attorney General Mike Nifong said that they're going to be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. New Black Panther Party was coming out with spokesmen on their side saying that they are guilty, 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 and all of this. But yet they were exonerated and found innocent. They went all that time over something that was a non-issue and did not occur. And then my campaign billboard was defaced less than 50 miles to the east, and there's very little media interest whatsoever. In fact, my campaign did a press release, and we had a press conference, and still it generated pretty much no interest that incident had occurred. And there was an investigation done by the Wake County Sheriff's Office. No leads, but an investigation was done, and that's the name of that tune.
Now, do you feel, in your opinion, is there a double standards when it comes to the so-called liberal progressive media in reference to issues of hate crimes, in reference to how much coverage is given to Democratic left-winging groups or organizations or individuals as opposed to individuals who are Republican conservatives?
Oh, yes, and I think you're pinpointing where the real problem is. As far as the black community having a problem, I don't really think that it's the black community per se. Rather, it is the media that feeds misleading and sometimes outright false information that misrepresents the truth. I think that when people are aware of what the facts and circumstances are in various cases, they tend to stand on the side of what's right and what's equitable. So yes, I believe that this is a concerted effort by the media to continue to portray, for example, the Tea Party as racist, when in fact the Tea Party has no organization, no national figure, no president, no chairman, and it frustrates people. So all they can do, even though they see that the Tea Party is effective, they then attack it and call it racist and various things. I've been associated with the Tea Party actively since 2009, and I can honestly say that I have not encountered racism and bias within the ranks of the Tea Party. Those associated with the Tea Party, they are just people that are fed up with too much government intervention. They're fed up with people that want to take away our rights and liberties, and they're fed up with the overreaching effect of government and high level of taxation. They want us to take our republic and bring it back to we the people.
Well, Mr. Randall, you have incidents that the media was portraying at the time during the debate over the health care, Obamacare issue back in 2009, 2010. And a lot of these media outlets, particularly on the left-wing progressive media, basically showed pictures of, quote unquote, they say it is were Tea Party activists in the community where Democratic-leaning Congress people or senators were holding so-called community meetings about Obamacare at the time it was being debated, and they were disrupted by so-called individuals. I mean, is there any, what is your take on it? I mean, you have people who saying that these Tea Party groups were basically demonstrating in Washington back in 2010, and there were a lot of signs with racial epithets portraying the president and go back to Africa and so forth. What is your take on that? I mean, what do you think about it?
Well, you covered a broad spectrum, but you know the issue of racism and racial epithets and this, that, and the other, those are things that you will find anywhere. So just because you have a person or isolated incidents where you have someone that is acting irresponsibly, that doesn't mean that you can categorize the group as a whole. Every one of us has members in our own family, blood relatives, even somebody in our immediate family who acts irresponsibly. Does that mean that everybody in the family is that bad or something like that? No, it doesn't. And just because you have a few, people who are out in left field, does that mean that that characterizes the whole group as such? I don't think that's reasonable either. I do know that there is self-policing in the Tea Party rallies, where if anyone gets out of line, people are pretty much told, you're not welcome here, or remove that sign. So
do you think that it was overblown, these pictures and the broadcast by the mainstream media about some of the Tea Party rallies?
Well, I believe that if you really do an extensive investigation, you're not going to find that it's widespread and prevalent. You can take isolated incidents and then show that image over and over and over and try and paint a picture. But by and large, you're not going to be able to categorize the movement as a whole as racist. You are going to find that there are ordinary citizens who want our liberties to be preserved, who want less government intervention, who want more personal responsibilities for individuals, and really want to restore the republic to the level that they believe it should be as far as ensuring rights for all.
In the little time that we have left, let me ask you about the race, the primary that's coming up in May 2012. Again, give us the district in which you are running in and your two opponents, and what differentiates you differently from those two.
Okay, I'm running in North Carolina's 13th Congressional District. I actually won the Republican nomination last cycle in 2010 as the Republican nominee, and I lost in the general election. The demographics in that district were 52% Democrat, 29% Republican. And even though I lost, I did have the highest percentage of votes ever against the Democrat congressman. I got 45% of the vote. I got over 92,000 votes, and I won 3 out of the 7 counties, despite being overspent or really outspent by a tremendous margin. There were some ads that he put out that I was not able to counter because I didn't have the money to set the record straight. However, I am running against 2 Republican opponents that have a lot of money, that have a lot of ties to local politics and this, that, and the other, and it's incumbent upon me to get out to all constituents and let them know who I am and what I stand for. And I would like to dovetail that with my background. I am from the hood. I am from the lower 9th Ward in New Orleans. I do know what it's like to be raised in an impoverished neighborhood. My wife is from the projects in New Orleans. I do know that the majority of the people down in the lower Ninth Ward before Katrina were homeowners. And I do know that the majority of the people do not want a handout. They just want a leg up, and they want to have an opportunity to do better for themselves and not be categorized as people who are always looking to be on the take. So I am looking to reach out to all the voters in this congressional district, regardless of the background, to let them know who I am, what I stand for. I'm a veteran. I was in for 27 years, and I believe that and I'm a business owner. I believe that I have a broad range of experience, and I believe that I bring common sense politics or approach to politics that will represent the people well in Washington, D.C.
And in conclusion, as you know, this is a very contentious and interesting Republican primary for the nomination for the presidency. Is there any one particular candidate that you're supporting or you're leaning toward that you are going to endorse in the future?
I really did like Herman Cain when he was in there. I think it's unfortunate that a lot of people tried to categorize him with some negative, racial labels. I think that is, and I'm really disappointed that more people in the black community didn't stand up and say, wait a minute, this is not right and fair for him to be categorized.
Why is that? Why is that that you feel that lack of support for Republican black candidates? Why? What is the reason behind it? What is your opinion on that?
There's, really, my opinion is just that. And as far as getting into the actual reason, it's not that easy to pinpoint what it is. But I think a lot of times individuals are influenced by the images and by the storyline that is given in the media. If you take the time to understand who the person is and where they're coming from, I think you would have a greater appreciation for them. So a lot of people categorize Herman Cain or Clarence Thomas as sellouts and Uncle Tom and this, that, and the other. They may characterize me as such, but they don't know anything about me. A lot of them are surprised that I'm from the lower Ninth Ward. They're surprised that in the military I was nominated for the highest award for equal opportunity in the Navy by my commander, U.S. 6th Fleet. They're surprised that I have an extensive background in equal opportunity. They're surprised that I am a small business owner and I actually go out there and work and touch base on things that help people in various communities. I've even done pro bono work for businesses that are in trouble to help them help improve their bottom line. So when you categorize people without knowing who they are, you are prejudging them. So that's prejudice, and we really don't have any place for that anywhere.
Mr. Randall, we appreciate you taking the time with San Diego County News, and we wish you the best.
Thank you for this opportunity. I appreciate it. Thank you.